This segment is brought to you by Health Guardians, Wellness Through Education. Strengthen your immune system.
Well, it's interesting, going on to when I was born. You find that there's a resistance to the darkness, whatever you want to call it. And when I was born, I had 8 strokes, which is really interesting. Don't tell many people that. And of course, got over that. And then I burnt my back when I was 4. I've still got scars, of course. First degree burn or whatever you want to call it. So I spent a year in the hospital, and then I was developing. I could see things, and I remember being at home one day and I saw this big old reptilian thing and we're going, "Dad, what's that? Help!" And he comes going, "What's the matter? What's the matter?" "There's a reptilian." We go, "What? What are you on about?" "Oh, it's just a bad dream, darling." And, when these things appear, they're called entities, but, people get freaked out. "Oh my God," but they're there, and it's important to understand them so you can manage them and keep them out of your life. So I realised that he couldn't see them. So when he'd gone, and you can feel that very dark feeling, and like, "Oh, blimey, this is not good." So I said, "Get out of my room," and it went. Oh, that worked. Yeah, we did it. And I realised that if I didn't get a grip of myself, we'd probably end up on drugs in some psych ward and love you, bye, and that'll be it. So I managed it. Now if you talk to beings and things like that, they call you schizophrenic. There's third dimensional, names for everything. Schizophrenic, ADD, ADHD, and all this sort of thing. And it's all, schizophrenic people are really gifted, but they've got to learn, and I teach and really help schizophrenic people to understand. Don't talk to the dark ones. Welcome the light in and you'll be okay. So I was sponsored to go and get a degree, and my father said, "Well, wow, you're too thick to get a degree." "Oh, okay, I'm going to get one." So I got one. Too thick to get a master's. Oh, I got one of those as well. You haven't realised my father's a bit of a crabby old shit, but, I love him, but you have to set boundaries, not allow that energy. Anyway, I always think in life, and I think it's really important, the key is looking at every situation you've ever been involved with, because it's always a blessing. It doesn't matter how bad it is. It doesn't matter how bad. People say, "Well, what about rape? What about this? What about abuse?" And all these things, lead you to being a strong person now. And it's having the macro, like an expanded awareness, macro awareness of why you're here and what you're doing. And then I started, building, loads of houses and building a portfolio up. And then God says, "You know what? That's it." The whole thing went bankrupt in about 14 days. When in 2007, when they collapsed it all, and I could see things, I was doing things, but I really wasn't concentrating. And God said, "It's time to concentrate." So everything wiped out. Got divorced. All the things went bankrupt for millions of pounds, and I sat there, in this apartment. I had a Bentley outside, believe it or not. Ridiculous, but I was embarrassed because I couldn't even afford to put gas in it, and it's a $220,000 car. God, what was I thinking? Anyway, so life lesson. So you're sitting in this apartment. Somebody loaned it to me for 4 weeks, and I had 2 bags, like Walmart bags. In England they call it Tesco's or Sainsbury's or something.
Right.
With a few clothes in, and that was it. And I thought, I've worked for 21 years, and this is it. Okay, God, it's not funny. What's happening? I said, "It's the right." "What do you mean it's the right? What are you talking about?" See, it's the right time, and of course you go through the journey and everything else, come out the other side, and what a blessing it was, because it got rid of all the stuff. I never worry about stuff now.
Helping people maintain that in their lives. What are the important things that they need to do to balance, to keep on a high level of frequency so they can function properly and deal with the so-called things they feel that are challenges, which are actually blessings.
It's an interesting question, especially now. I mean, if you haven't worked out, I mean, you guys listening, if you haven't worked out there, it's absolutely nuts. And I don't know what to tell you, but it's nuts. But the interesting thing about it is, again, you know, if you open and expand your awareness, macro awareness, you'll realize that it's a fantastic lesson of being able to get back to your sovereign self, setting boundaries. You know, you look at it, you know, vax versus no vax, you know, black versus white, you know, religion, Christianity versus Buddhism, and whatever, you know, it's all about separation. And that, you know, again, with the politics, who cares about that? You know, the fact is, you're a sovereign being, whatever you believe in, prime creator, God, goddess, prime creator, all it is, Elohim, Yahweh, it doesn't matter, you know. The fact is that, you know, you're a sovereign being, and it's time to take control back of your life. In actual healing sessions, about 60,000 a week, you know, including, you know, if you look on YouTube, we get a lot of views and all this sort of thing. And the feedback we get is that there's a lot of powerless thing, especially now.
Yes.
You know, people are trying to force you to get the vaccine and force you to do this. And you better, you know, Trump haters and Biden haters. And who cares who's in? Because, you know, if you don't allow it to affect you, you know what? It won't, you know. If you don't fit in the world, especially with starseeds, they don't fit in the world. How many times a week do I think, you know, someone speaks to us, well, since I was born, I don't fit in. Well, I don't feel as though I'm from here. So, well, you're not. So why did you try and fit in? Why didn't you actually take a step back and live on the periphery, you know, and then you'll be okay. But if you try and fit in, it's not going to work, you know, because you think differently.
Yeah.
I think that's a really important thing. You know, if I always give the analogy like a swimming pool. So, you know, humanity's in the swimming pool, they're pooing and weeing. And you look at them, oh, do you want to dive in there? Probably not. Yeah. Don't want to be in the poo. So let's go on the periphery. Let's pluck people out of the swimming pool, wash them down, dry them off, and help as many people as possible. Exactly. Service to others. Well, it's interesting because it depends whether you're dealing, you know, for example, manufactured disease like Lyme, HIV/AIDS, Agent Orange, all manufactured. These things, the problem you've got, and people don't realize, is they're off-planet technology. So, you know, normally, like if you look at the Native Americans, they've got herbs and things that will take care of stuff on the planet. But if you catch something off-planet, like a stealth pathogen, the thing reacts very differently in your body. It replicates and it morphs. So the autoimmune's trying to find it. You know, the killer cells, they try to find it, can't find it. And eventually what happens is, because your autoimmune's hyper, it crashes. So we look at it a different approach, and we have a protocol to get rid of that. It actually splits your now future timeline. And also we used to use tachyon energy, a space-time continuum, which fries the spirochetes without damaging the body. And, you know, other things like cancer. Look at cancer. You know, if you go to the doctor, oh, girl, you've got stage 4 cancer, you're going to die within a week, you know. But you're not, you know, it's your choice whether you live. And the cancer tumor is just saying, hey, body's off balance. If you do something about it and pay attention to it, if you don't, it will pay attention to you. So primary cause of cancer, wow, emotion. Secondary cause, pathogenic infections, mutating the cells, turning into tumors. So it means your vibration's way off. So, you know, it's about getting rid of the primary cause and help releasing that. And the secondary cause, killing off the pathogens, and then the tumor's just, you know, it's going to disappear. Yeah, with a protocol. We also do healing sessions, you know, again, 3 times a week. If anyone wants to join, if they go to the website, they can join it. You know, we work on emotion, we work on the adrenals. Most people have got adrenal issues. Why is that? Look at the world, you know, emotion bleeds into the adrenals, it bleeds into the thyroid. So, you know, your whole endocrine system's exhausted. You feel, oh, you know. But also the parathyroid. People don't realize about the parathyroid. If it bleeds into the parathyroid, paralyzes it, you leach calcium out your bones, gets to the bloodstream, could deposit inside of kidneys, could deposit inside of arteries. Along come fat cells that create arterial blockages. It could deposit on the flap of the heart valve. All sorts of destructive things. These things are really destructive, and it's just imbalance in the body. But it also, of course, causes osteopenia because you're leaching calcium, so your bone density is reducing. Again, we've got techniques using a very thick energy. We paste it on the bones. It recreates it. We release the emotion of the parathyroid so it starts functioning. You know, it's no use just looking at the symptom. You've got to look at the primary, secondary cause, and and take care of the whole thing so it doesn't come back. It's having an understanding. It took me years. When I went bankrupt, I meditated for about 4 years, and they showed me the cause and effect of many, many different things. And we still, I still learn today. New things come up all the time. It's just amazing.
Talk about feelings and mental health and well-being. So let's talk about that. Your mental health, your well-being, and the physical things that you pull to you that make you unwell.
Yeah, I mean, the heart chakra is key to a lot of diseases because, of course, don't forget autoimmune, your immune system. Thymus, spleen is the main part of the immune system. And if they get weak, the killer cells and T cells and, then therefore the antibodies aren't taking care of business. I mean, how many people, for example, do I see, I've got terrible sinus issues, but you're not supposed to. Your immune system should take care of business, and it's not. So we need to get that up, get rid of the emotion, and we can fry the infections and get rid of that fairly quickly. But it'll just come back because until you get your immune system strong, you know where to go. So to me, all this pandemic and everything else, it's all within you. Your immune system will take care of the whole thing. You don't need external things, and that's just my opinion. And again, I'm going to say, not a doctor, go consult your doctor. If we take, for example, corn syrup, here, it's not banned. It's in everything. In Europe and UK, it's completely banned. Why is that? Because the type of sugar it is, the body can't process it properly, and so you've got a problem. So basically, things like that, I don't know why in America it's not banned. Who knows? It's not my deal, but don't have it,
Yeah.
Think about the life somebody is at the moment, and I've been there myself. You go to work, you can't stand your job, you're getting a paycheck, you go home, you buy some food, you eat, and then you watch TV or whatever you do, who knows. I never used to watch TV very much. But, you get on this path of the matrix, fear, and oh my goodness, how do we pay the bills next month? The thing is about the divine plan is this, everyone's got a gift. And the thing is about the gift is it brings you joy. It excites you every day. It blows, I love to say, it blows your pantaloons off. And it really does because, I get excited about this work. I love sharing it. I love doing the healing sessions. It's a lot of work. People don't realize, well, how many healing sessions do we? Probably about 300 or 400 people in person or on specialized groups. And like I say, 60,000 odd sessions out in the ether, doing Facebook and YouTube and everything else. And I love it, and those sessions 3 times a week are by donation. If you don't want to donate, don't worry about it. If you've got no money, I always tell people, look, never shame yourself. I've been there, got the t-shirt, and actually without food. I've been 21 days, 7 days, whatever, without food because I just didn't have enough money. But, I was a powerless victim and didn't realize, well, I need to take my power back and let's get some food. And then suddenly you manifest it. And it taught me a great lesson. What is the gift? Well, everyone's got a natural gift. You don't have to try. You just have to sit with it and understand it. So basically, I found my passion, and because of passion, I absolutely love it. It gives you you're leaping out of bed in the morning, let's do some more healing. Let's get excited and see changes in people. When they have a DEXA scan and wow, the osteoporosis has gone, or, eyes are better, or cancer's gone. A lady yesterday, she had, tumors in her lungs. She went on the protocol, stripped out the pathogens affecting it. It also released the emotion. And she goes, oh my God, they did a scan and they can't find these tumors, Yay! How brilliant is that? How good does it make you feel? You feel so good. When you find your passion, you just work on it. Now, if it's art, people will say, yeah, but how do I monetize it? When I first started the ministry, and it's a Christopher Macklin Ministries, but we call it the Global Enlightenment Project. It's still registered as a name in Missouri. But we started the ministry in 2011. And I always remember I started, so I had an office, build it, they'll come. Where are they? And 3 months went by. I said, this is strange, anyway. Okay, God, where are they? They said it's within here. Get out there. Oh, okay. So I remember the first visit I ever made was Unity Church in St. Petersburg in Florida. Never been there before, no one knew me. I got there and the place was absolutely slammed to the point where they had to lock the doors because of fire regulations, and people were like, I want to come in. I thought, what on earth do they want to come see me for? And it was about, God aligns the people and God takes care of everything.
Absolutely.
One thing I always teach people as well, if you're in a spiritual business, we have a lot of transactions, everything else. Do I want to look at QuickBooks? No. Let the accountant do it. I pay them to do the whole thing. What about the IT guy? We have a load of IT in here. Do I want to do it? No. Can I do it? Oh, yeah. It's just I don't want to waste my time and get frustrated on some silly software bug that the IT guy knows how to do. All I do is the healings. And it's important to flow the money out to feed other families. We have 10 staff, how we got them all, I don't know, but we do. It's crazy,
It's wonderful.
But it's wonderful because I don't have to worry about anything, all the bookings and specialized groups and things, and, QuickBooks and Facebook and YouTube, it's all taken care of. All I have to do is do these healings, and it gives you the excitement, and you don't have to worry about anything else. And that's key to me. You pray over your food, so I call prayers a map of intent, because people think, oh, it's a prayer, it's Christian. It's not. Very, very not Christian. So what you do is, you put your hands around the food, focus on the food, and say that map of intent or a prayer. And basically it's asking God to remove any modifications that are not godlike, optimize the vibration of the food, and bless the souls of the animals and the plants that allow your body nutrition. Now, people always, I've had a few hate things where people ring up, wow, how dare you, promote animal killing and all this. But if you kill a plant, I don't understand what the difference is. They're all God beings, Right. If you chop a tree down, they're alive. They've got a different soul, but they feel hurt, they feel pain, they have emotion, And so by doing that, it's doing the Native American. In fact, it's really interesting because one of the reservations in America actually translated that prayer into their translation so they could use it on the reservation. I thought, yeah, that's brilliant. And I've actually got the translation in the back here. They sent it to me, bless them. I think it's, for all of us, time to take a step back, getting back inside yourself. Don't judge anybody, but also set boundaries. Don't intake their negative energy reflected on you, because, I have no trigger points. I used to have probably quite a lot of trigger points, but they've all been beaten out of me as I'm gone. But what I do feel is sad sometimes. And like with my father, I set some boundaries. I don't need that passive aggressive narcissistic, I love you, but I'm going to love you from a distance. To me, unconditional love, how can you love someone when you're in fact, criticizing you? So let's take a step back. Let's leave them here, park them there, and just love them at a distance, because that's okay. And to me, that's unconditional love, because I don't judge him. I forgave him a long time ago. And I think, other people I forgave a long time ago. But do you want him in your life now? Probably not. So, you have to decide. I think one of the keys is stepping back from this matrix. Switch off the news, because, a lot of it's blah, blah, blah. I call it blah, 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 Again, with the politics, take a step back from that. With the religion, maybe take a step back from that, because it's all dogma. It's all there for separation. And start meditating. Do some meditations. Get back to your sovereign self. Get that inner strength back. Because we've got time now, it's still not fully open. We've had the time for the last year or so. And it's important to have people around you who love you, who will understand you and hold the space. It's no use trying to be friends with people who don't get you. It's not because we're judging them. It's because they're on a different place. And so, it's important to look who's around you, I think, and just, let go of everything, surrender, be grateful for the things you have in your life. I see so many people sort of, well, I'm going off money, but have you got a roof over your head? Well, yeah. Have you got a car? Yeah. Have you got food on sale? Yeah. Well, wow, isn't that a lot? Because a lot of people in this country don't have it, And I've been there myself, when I was living out of a car, I hadn't any food and really struggled to have somewhere to stay. I lived in a car for a bit, and stayed at people's houses. And then I get sponsored now and again, do a healing, I'll get your hotel room. you know, amazing things happened along the journey, and it really taught me a lot. It's important as well, do some of the healings. You know, if you've got OCD, ADHD, ADD, what happens is that with the stress, your neurochemical balance goes off, like the GABA, serotonin, and dopamine. And so, you know, maybe get some of those meditations to help you with that, you know, so you can get rebalanced, you know, and get those chemicals rebalanced, but it also releases the emotion. So, you know, and I think that's really important. Well, just go to the globalenlightenmentproject.com. And just go on the website. You know, we have healings 3 times a week. You know, it's by donation. We normally have live probably about 800 people, 1,000 people. But like I say, it's listened to probably 20,000 times each healing session. But if you want to join Zoom. Come on, you know, experience it, because you know, talk is cheap. You can say, "Oh, I'm a healer," whatever. Well, let's show up. Let's feel it. You know, and so, you know, come on those. You know, we've got these books as well. You know, Centering the Mind might help at the moment. This is a book, Centering the Mind. We wrote it. It's got some exercises, but it's also, we did these meditations called the Brain Series, where, you know, like I say, it releases things with ADHD and OCD and ADD. And it also works on, you know, you can feel them because that being, it's like psychic surgery. You can feel them in your brain actually starting to move all the emotions, so the glands start to work properly. And it's had profound effect. I've got psychiatrists and psychologists all over the US using them, you know, so it kind of helps you.